Gordon Ramsay has built his career on intensity, passion, and an unwavering standard of excellence in the kitchen. While his sharp tongue and no-nonsense approach are legendary, he's equally known for fairness and loyalty to his staff. But sometimes, the biggest challenges in his restaurants don't come from the food or the team, they come from customers who step far beyond the line of respect. This is the story of several unforgettable times when Gordon Ramsay had to put disrespectful customers in their place, and how those moments showed his true character. From New York City to Los Angeles, Chicago to Miami, Gordon's dining rooms have witnessed not just culinary brilliance but also clashes where Ramsay himself became the protector of his team, his food, and the values he stands for. It was a Friday night in Las Vegas, where Gordon's steakhouse inside Caesar's Palace was fully booked. The atmosphere was electric, glasses clinking, servers weaving between tables, the scent of seared beef and garlic butter filling the air. In one corner, a group of wealthy businessmen had taken a large table. From the start, their behavior was arrogant. They waved servers off impatiently, demanded endless modifications to the menu, and laughed loudly at the staff. One young waiter, just 2 weeks into his job, accidentally spilled a few drops of water while refilling a glass. The table erupted in mocking laughter. "Look at this guy," one of them said loudly. "Maybe he should be working at a fast food joint instead of here." The waiter's face turned red with embarrassment. He muttered an apology and tried to move on. But Ramsay, who had been checking on another table nearby, caught every word. He walked straight over, his tall frame towering over the group. "Excuse me, gentlemen," Ramsay said firmly, his piercing blue eyes narrowing. "You do not speak to my staff like that. They're here to give you the best experience possible, not to be humiliated. If you think mocking a young waiter makes you look clever, I assure you, it doesn't. It makes you look like complete idiots." The table went silent. The men shifted uncomfortably, and one of them stammered, "We were just joking." "Well, nobody's laughing," Ramsay shot back. "You've got 2 choices. Sit here, enjoy the meal with respect, or the door is right there. Which will it be?" The group muttered apologies, suddenly much quieter for the rest of the evening. The young waiter later admitted he'd been ready to quit that night, but Ramsay's defense gave him the confidence to continue. Years later, he was still working in the industry, managing his own restaurant. Another unforgettable incident took place in Chicago, at one of Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen pop-up events. The restaurant was buzzing with energy, customers thrilled to experience the dishes they'd seen on TV. But not everyone came with good intentions. A couple seated near the open kitchen seemed determined to cause trouble. They sent back dishes without explanation, snapped fingers at the servers, and rolled their eyes dramatically. When their entrees arrived, perfectly cooked beef Wellington and scallops, they began loudly complaining that the food was inedible. Ramsay, who was plating dishes just feet away, finally turned around. "Is something wrong with the food?" he asked calmly. "Yeah," the man said smugly. "This so-called Wellington is raw. I've had better at a steakhouse downtown." Ramsay walked over, knife in hand. He sliced the Wellington right in front of them, showing the perfect medium-rare center. "That," he said, holding the slice on the knife, "is exactly how a Wellington is meant to be cooked. You came here for my food, cooked my way. If you want it well done, dry, and tasteless, go to a diner. But don't insult the team who worked hours to prepare this for you." The restaurant erupted in applause. The couple, embarrassed, ate in silence after that. Ramsay didn't need to yell. His authority and knowledge of his craft said everything. Then there was the night in New York City that became the talk of the town. Ramsay's flagship restaurant was packed with food critics, celebrities, and loyal fans. At one table, a group of influencers had booked a reservation. From the moment they arrived, they were more interested in filming themselves than eating. They stood on chairs to get overhead shots, shoved their phones in the servers' faces, and blocked aisles while staff tried to carry hot plates. Other diners were annoyed, but the staff remained polite. Things escalated when one of the influencers, frustrated that his steak didn't look Instagrammable enough, started berating the server. "This is pathetic. Do you even know who I am? I'm giving this place exposure it doesn't deserve," he shouted, holding his phone up to record himself yelling. Ramsay had been watching. He stormed over, his voice booming across the dining room. "Do you know who I am?" Ramsay snapped. "I'm the chef who runs this restaurant, and I don't need your exposure." What I do need is respect for my staff and my guests. If filming yourself is more important than enjoying the food, you can film yourself walking straight out that door." The influencer froze, his camera still rolling. The dining room exploded in cheers and claps. Ramsay leaned closer and added, "And if you post this, make sure you tag it, got kicked out for being disrespectful." Security escorted the group out. The rest of the night went on smoothly, and diners later praised Ramsay for standing up for his staff and protecting the restaurant's atmosphere. But not all confrontations were loud. In Miami, during the grand opening of one of his restaurants, Ramsay showed a different kind of strength. A couple had come in clearly looking for trouble, nitpicking every small detail. When their dessert arrived, they called the waitress over and accused her of forgetting an ingredient that wasn't even on the menu. The waitress, flustered and near tears, explained politely that the dessert was prepared exactly as listed. The couple sneered and began whispering insults loudly enough for other diners to hear. Ramsay stepped in quietly, pulling up a chair at their table. "I want to make sure you're having the best possible experience," he said evenly. "But what I won't allow is disrespect toward my staff. If there's something wrong with the food, I'll fix it immediately. But if the problem is just you wanting to make someone feel small, then I'll happily send you the check right now." The couple blinked in surprise, realizing the room had gone silent. Other guests were watching. Without another word, they asked for the check and left. The waitress later told Ramsay it was the kindest thing anyone had ever done for her at work. Each of these moments highlighted why Gordon Ramsay remains such a powerful figure in the restaurant world. Yes, he's fiery, demanding, and sometimes terrifying in the kitchen. But behind that fire is a deep respect for his craft, his food, and his people. He knows that a restaurant isn't just about the dishes served, it's about the experience. Disrespect, whether toward staff, food, or fellow diners, has no place at his tables. And time after time, he's proven that he'll step in when necessary, even if it means confronting his own customers. In Los Angeles, he once said during a quiet interview, "I can handle criticism. I've been criticized my whole life. But when people disrespect my staff, that's where I draw the line."